Hi and welcome. I'm Shannon and I'm a binge eating and intuitive eating coach. This video serves as a beginner's guide to intuitive eating with my 4 top tips on how to get started. If you are not familiar with intuitive eating, make sure you go back and watch my video all about what intuitive eating is and isn't. The first thing you should do if you want to get started with intuitive eating is surround yourself with anti-diet and intuitive eating resources such as podcasts, books, and social media accounts. If you need suggestions, I'll make sure to leave some in the description box below. The original intuitive eating book and workbook serve as a great place to get started and to hone in on your knowledge and skills with intuitive eating. They cover all of the principles of intuitive eating and how to implement them. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel where we're going to be posting much more content and information on intuitive eating. As you get more familiar with the concepts of intuitive eating and what it is and is not, it will be easier to understand how to implement the different principles into your life. So as you continue to read and explore different resources, the second top tip for getting started with intuitive eating is become familiar with how hunger and fullness feel in your body. Hunger and fullness are 2 of the intuitive eating principles, which can help you get more in tune with your body and what it needs. This can also help you learn how to feed your body properly and comfortably. This step can be challenging, especially if you've suppressed your hunger and your fullness cues for a long time, which is super common for people who struggle with binge eating. So don't be discouraged if you can't tell right away what hunger and fullness feels like for you. What I encourage you to do is check in with yourself before, during, and after a meal to just perceive how your body is feeling. You can even use a resource like a hunger and fullness scale to check in with your unique body. We have a free hunger and fullness scale download. I'll link it in the description for you. The third tip to get started with intuitive eating is to release morality around food. Often in our heads, we have what we consider good foods and what we consider bad foods. Or sometimes we call them healthy, clean, or unhealthy. There's a lot of different descriptor words that have popped up over the years. While it's true that different foods carry different levels of nutrients, by labeling foods in a moral way, we can find ourselves more likely to restrict and then later binge on the foods that we label as bad. It can be helpful to have affirmations that you say to yourself when you catch yourself thinking about food in a moral way. Some examples include no foods are off limits or there are no good or bad foods. Those are 2 examples of affirmations that you can say to yourself. Ultimately, learning that you can have all food and making choices that feel good in your body are both part of intuitive eating. When you start intuitive eating, you might find yourself gravitating much more towards those bad foods or forbidden foods. It's incredibly common, but it is a roadblock for a lot of people. And so we'll definitely be making a video in the future on how to tackle and overcome that. So far, we've covered 3 of the top tips to get started with intuitive eating, including surrounding yourself with different resources, getting familiar with hunger and fullness, and then releasing morality around food. The last thing that I think is really helpful when you're getting started with intuitive eating is actually reaching out for help. If you have the financial resources to do so, hiring a coach or dietitian specialized and certified in intuitive eating can be a really worthwhile investment and can help you tailor the process to your own individual needs. I'm an intuitive eating coach who specializes in helping folks with binge eating. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and check out in the description box below the details on how to learn more about our transformational one-on-one coaching program. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.